Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought I'd talk through some of my 5-star reads. This isn't all of them, but this is some of them. There's not too many actually. I think about 22 in total when I look at my reading list and stuff of 5-star reads. So I picked out just a few of them because you guys don't want to hear me sit here and talk about 22 different books and why I liked them. Some, yes, but not all. So yeah, but before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know about TubeBuddy. They is a company that I'm working with that is helping me and help with my YouTube videos and getting the best quality and understanding my channel and the creative side of it. So if anybody else who is looking into starting a YouTube channel like I have and just wants a bit of extra help, my link is down below to go and see it and to check it out. It's totally free, so you haven't got to pay any money. You can see it. It links right up to your YouTube channel and you can just go through all of it. It's a Chrome extension, so you literally just need to download it, have it as an extension, and then it's just automatically connected to your YouTube account and you add your account to it. So yeah, but let's get into the 5-star reads. So the first one that I have here next to me is the classic bestseller Mythology, Timeless Tales of Gods and Heroes by Edith Hamilton. Now this book is a 5-star for me because I love Greek mythology. Not so much in the sense of that I've studied it and I'm so into it like that, but I just love reading about it, and I just love like the way the stories over time been told, and you see the little changes and the retellings of them, and it's just so nice. So this one is a good read. If anybody else is interested in mythology, I would check this one out. This did take me a little while to read because I don't think you can see that the writing is pretty small on it. So it did take me a little while, and it's not like your normal sized book either. When you compare it, it's quite a tiny little book. So yeah, so that's one of my first. I think this one I read, I want to say it's towards the end of last year I read this one. So it's been a little while, but yeah, Edith Hamilton done a really good job with this one, so I definitely recommend that. Next book I have is Where She Went by Gayle Forman, which is the second book in the sequel to If I Stay. If I Stay, I did enjoy it, but it wasn't quite 5-star for me. This one is a 5-star because I just absolutely adored the way you got to see how their lives changed since the accident. You sort of going in and you see their different perspectives. You get to see more from Adam's perspective this time. You get to really dive into their story and their relationship, and just the way it's done, it's just beautiful. And like I said, I did enjoy the first book as well, but this one topped it for me because it was just, I will read the back of this one. So it's been 3 years since Mia walked out of Adam's life, and 3 years he spent wondering why. When their paths cross again in New York City, Adam and Mia are brought back together for one life-changing night. Adam finally has the opportunity to ask Mia the questions that have been haunting him, but will a few hours in this magical city be enough to lay their paths to rest for good, or can you really have a second chance at first love? It is so good. And I always want to know, I wonder why they didn't do a film with the second one. Because I've seen the film for the first one, and it was good. I need to do a film for this one, because this one was top notch for me. And I think it'd definitely be interesting as well in the film wise to see what happened between them, to show that sort of side. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. It would be good to have it visually portrayed and that. So that's also just my imagination is working and going with what's being described and what's being said. And I just think it would really be good to sort of see somebody else's sort of perspective and how they portray those. So yeah. The next two books I'm going to discuss are the second and third books in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So we have Good Girl Bad Blood and As Good as Dead. So these two were 5 stars for me. The first one not so much, because I did struggle a bit getting into it and just sort of the book was building the world and understanding the characters and stuff. But these two books I absolutely adored. So the second book, it looks into her helping out a friend who's had someone go missing, and so she's investigating it yet again. And it was just really interesting to see it, her investigating it from like a personal level, and seeing how that differs from it being a here and now case compared to one that was a cold case, been and gone, solved like years ago. So that was definitely interesting. And then the second one I loved because this was literally all to do with her, and to see how it affects her when she's in the position of having to pretty much investigate herself almost and what's going on with her. So that's interesting. And the ending, I had some tears towards the end. I did, and it was like, I can't believe it ended up. I need to get Killjoy, which is I think like the 4th book to come after it. It's all kind of related to it, so I want to get that book when it comes out and see what it's about, because I haven't actually read anything about it yet, so I don't know what it's going to be about. So that would be interesting. The next few books I'm going to talk about is the Caraval series. So you have Caraval, Legendary, and then Finale. I adored this series. This series has a special place in my heart, and I love it. And Stephanie Garber is just, she's an amazing author. She's literally become one of my favourite authors, and I can't wait to read her other books. But I will read the back of Caraval because I don't want to read these books. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it. So remember, it's all a game. What happens when this game may frighten or excite you, but don't let any of it trick you. Once a year, the infamous Master Legend hosts Caraval, open only to those who have been invited. This year, the week-long game is on Legend's glittering Isle de los Sueños, where the winding streets are an elaborate snow-covered maze and the people are never who they seem. At midnight on the first day, the show begins and visitors become players. Each of them is vying for the coveted prize, a single wish. All they must do is unravel the mystery of Caraval. But in a game where danger hides behind every charm and smile, winning isn't without loss, and their wish might be their last. And if I tell you what, the ending had me grabbing for the next lot of books to read. This literally had my heart and had me gripped and just so enticed into what was going on, and I must say it, there were bits that I did expect, that I did see come in, but there were also bits that I didn't see come in, so you know, it really did still have all those twists and those turns, so it was interesting definitely to see and have those guesses. And I just love the covers. Look, these spines are just, they're beautiful how they go together, and the covers as well were just lovely. I just adore them. So yeah, that's those ones. Now my last lot of books is this one. I know I've definitely seen a lot of love-hate for this one, so it's definitely an opinionated book and of what people think about it, which is Sally Rooney's Normal People. I do know there is a TV show as well, which I haven't seen yet, but I do want to have a look at and watch. But this book here says, Connell and Marianne grow up in the same small town in the west of Ireland, but the similarities end there. In school, Connell is popular and well liked, while Marianne is a loner, but when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Normal People is a story of mutual fascination, friendship and love. It takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond, in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find they can't. This is literally a story, a book about right person, wrong time. You know, you always get the wrong time, wrong person, right time, things like that. This is definitely right person, wrong time, and it just shows their relationship throughout all the years and how it builds, how they sort of banter back and forth and their relationship, and like the ending as well. I was just like, how could you leave him like that? But yeah, so Sally really, I know, like I said, does have a look to love. If you can tell with the writing, there's no quote marks, so it's quite difficult the way it's written to read it, because there isn't those quote marks, so it's just literally just all flowing in text. So it does make it quite hard sometimes for it to read. I do have Conversation with Friends, which is on my TBR this month, so which is in fact my next read. So I will see how I go on with that, and if I feel the same or if it's different. I know that's turned into the TV show as well, I think. If I remember right. I think it is. This next book I read a couple of months ago, and it is a psychological thriller, and that's The Silent Patient. Guys, when I tell you this book had me gripped, I know I've been saying it, I got hooked and into these books like and stuff, and I have, but this one had me obsessed. I read it in a day because of just how hooked I was to it, and I lent it to a friend, and she read it and she messaged me going, what's going on? You know, and having like this panic about it and like going, what have you done and stuff. You know, the first little bit is a little slow, but once you get into it, you're so into it. So it's Alicia Bergenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago, where she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. So this is literally, so there's this like psychologist that goes to talk to her and try and help her to speak, and it sort of throughout shows sort of events that have happened back in that time 6 years ago. So it's definitely interesting. If you want a psychological thriller to read, this is your book, and I swear to God you will not regret it. Like, this is literally, I need to get Alex Michaelides' other book, Maidens, because his is just, I'm hooked to how he writes. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be the way it was. Like, as you're reading it, you think, oh yeah, that's just happening at the same time. No. When you get to the end and you find the big plot twist, I can't. I'm gonna spoil it. I need to put it down. I can't spoil it. Don't spoil it for anything. Let's move on to a different one, which is Daisy Jones and the Six. Now, I have read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo as well, which is also a 5-star read, but I don't currently have the book on me. So we're going to talk about this one. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. I've got another one of her books to read. I've got 2 of her books to read. I've got more of her books I know I have to read. And her writing is just so, it's probably going to sound stupid, but very realistic. Like, her books literally have me wanting to grab my phone and search up the characters, because it feels like it's such a real life, like these people are real. Like, that's just how her writing makes it feel, to me especially. And I do know that my sister-in-law, when I lent her Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, she was just like, oh my god, I want to pick up my phone and just be searching up these characters like it's just so real. And I'm like, I know. So that's why I gave it to you. I was like, this is just hooking. So yeah, so this is definitely a must-read book of the summer, as it says on the front. If you haven't read it, please do. So this is about Daisy Jones and the Six. From the moment Daisy walked barefoot onto the stage at the Whiskey, she and the band were a sensation. Their sound defined an era, their albums were on every turntable, they sold out arenas from coast to coast. This is the story of the incredible rise, the ambition, the desire, the rivalry, and the music. And then, on the 12th of July 1979, Daisy Jones and the Six split up. Nobody knew why until now. The ending. Again, obviously, how people can... Guys, I've tried my hand at writing a few times, and I can't do it. I just can't grasp it, okay? So how these authors can do it and get the endings that they get, I need them to teach me, because I would love to be able to do that. I would just... a kid's dream was mine for its writing, and I tried it all the time and just failed. So I need them to teach me how they do these, because these are masterpieces for all these books. And it's my phone again. These are just, yeah, incredible. This story, the way you see how the characters came about, how their story built from the start to the end, and like the ending and the twist, it was just like, oh my god, like I literally did not see it coming. I didn't. Some people might have guessed it, but I didn't. I guess the sense of like who this one person was, because I don't want to spoil it. I feel like everyone says and spoil it, so I don't want to spoil it. But there were some parts that I didn't get, and there were some parts that I did. That's what I'm going to say, because otherwise I'm going to spoil the book. So my last 5-star read, and one of my most recent reads, is of course we have to have a Miss Colleen Hoover, Miss Coho the Queen, Verity. Just need to give it a minute, because this book just gives me chills, anxiety, when I read this. Oh. Guys, if you have not read Verity, please do. Okay? This is a thriller, and it's one of, I think, Colleen Hoover's only thrillers. I don't think she's written it. Well, I think Layla's meant to be a bit, but not quite Verity level. I don't know, I haven't read it, so don't come at me, because I haven't read it, so I'm not sure. I'm just going based on things I've heard. So this book had me hooked. I can't believe there were bits I did guess, I must say. There was one point in the turn and I was like, that's happening, which is like one of the big twists in the plot twist. So I don't want to say what it is and spoil it, but yeah, there's this one moment something happened and I was like, right, this is it. So this is Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she escapes the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, the husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. When Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling omissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Just want to stop there for a minute. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father, but as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognises all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. Guys, if that doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will. Because this book, all the twists, there was some parts and I'm just like, of these things. Like, to be fair, when I was reading this, I was watching a lot of like World's Most Evil Killers and Britain's Most Evil Killers shows. So I was in a very, I feel like, criminal psychological thriller sort of mindset at the time. How do people come up with these things, do these things? I mean, I know this isn't real, but like, still, because even though this isn't real, there's elements of things that have happened in real life, not necessarily with Colleen Hoover, because, you know, this is her imagination, but in the world there is aspects of these things happening, and it's like, how do people get in the mindset to do those things? Like, I just get so, I don't know, I get so like, I get very, what's the word I'm looking for, intense about this topic, which shall say, of why people do what they do. So I did do psychology at GCSE. I don't know what that is anywhere else, I'm sorry, but if you're in England, you know what a GCSE is. But yeah, I don't get people. I don't get it. But yes, that is some of my 5-star reads, not all of them, because like I say, I think there's something like 22 when I looked at my notions list. There was a lot, and I was like, I'm just going to pick some. So, I picked some. This is some of my 5-star reads. I'm going to finish this video here and put these books back on my shelf before I drop them off like that. No. Anybody who knows me about my books knows I'm very serious, and my books are precious to me, and, you know, like Gollum in his ring, these books are my precious. And shout out to any Lord of the Rings fans out there. But yeah, so I'm going to end this video here. Again, anybody who wants to start on a YouTube channel or already has one, just wants that extra bit of the help, check out my link below to TubeBuddy. They are good, they're awesome. And yeah, I will catch you guys in my next video. Keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.